Hello children. Do you know who is Kalpana Chawla, or what is an astronomer? Let us find out the answers to these interesting questions in this video. Kalpana Chawla was an Indian-born American astronaut and aerospace engineer who was the first woman of Indian origin to fly to space. Born in Karnal, India, on March 17, 1962, to parents Banarasi Chawla and Sanjyothi Chawla, Kalpana Chawla was the youngest of 4 children. Kalpana Chawla was born in a Punjabi Hindu family in Karnal, Haryana. She was born into a society where many restrictions were on the girls. However, she broke several traditions to become the first Indian-born female astronaut. Chawla hadn't been formally named until she started going to school. Her parents called her Montu, but Chawla picked her name from a selection when she entered education. The name Kalpana means idea or imagination. As a child, Chawla developed an interest in flying after first seeing a plane at around the age of 3. She spent days with her father visiting her local flying club with her father and showed an interest in aviation while at school. She completed her schooling at Tagore Bail Niketan Senior Secondary School, Karnal. When she was growing up, she went to local flying clubs and watched planes with her father. After graduating with a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Aeronautical Engineering from Punjab Engineering College, India, Chawla went to the United States in 1982 for further studies. In 1984, she graduated with a Master of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering from the University of Texas at Arlington. After completing this, she went on to earn a second master's in 1986 and a PhD in Aerospace Engineering in 1988 from the University of Colorado Boulder. So, coming back to the question, an astronaut is an expert person or a special kind of scientist who takes a spaceship to a far distance in space to study things like asteroids, the Earth's atmosphere, and the Moon. The word astronaut comes from the Greek words meaning space sailor. Hope now you understand the meaning. You should read more on what else astronauts do in the spaceship. Now, moving on, in 1988, Chawla joined NASA's Ames Research Center, where she initially conducted computational fluid dynamics research on vertical and/or short takeoff and landing, VSTOL concepts. Much of Chawla's research is included in technical journals and conference papers. In 1993, she joined Overset Methods Incorporated as vice president and research scientist specializing in the simulation of moving multiple body problems. She held a certified flight instructor rating for airplanes, gliders, and commercial pilot licenses for single and multi-engine airplanes, seaplanes, and gliders. After becoming a U.S. citizen in April 1991, she applied for the NASA Astronaut Corps. She joined the Corps in March 1995 and was selected for her first flight in 1997. Chawla felt passionately about providing science education opportunities for young girls in India. During her time as an astronaut, NASA invited Chawla's secondary school to take part in its summer space experience program. Each year from 1998, the school sent 2 girls to the Foundation for International Space Education's United Space School in Houston, and Chawla would invite them into her home for an Indian dinner. Chawla's first space mission began on the 19th of November 1997, as part of the 6-astronaut crew that flew the Space Shuttle Columbia flight STS-87. She first flew on Space Shuttle Columbia in 1997 as a mission specialist and primary robotic arm operator. Chawla was the first Indian woman to go into space and the second Indian person after Rakesh Sharma. She spoke the following words: "While traveling in the weightlessness of space, you adjust your intelligence." On her first mission, Chawla traveled 10.4 million miles in 252 orbits of the Earth, spending more than 376 hours, which is equal to 15 days and 16 hours, in space. The shuttle carried out several experiments, including projects studying plant reproduction in microgravity and how materials behave in space. After her first flight, Chawla said, "When you look at the stars and the galaxy, you feel that you are not just from any particular piece of land, but from the solar system." In addition, Chawla used the robotic arm to deploy a satellite called Spartan 201, which was meant to study the outer layer of the sun, called the corona. But the satellite malfunctioned and could not control its position upon deployment, according to NASA. So, to conduct the required study, a spacewalk was done by other astronauts on the spaceship, Winston Scott and Takao Dioi, to capture the satellite observations. A 5-month NASA investigation done in that case finally removed any suspect on Chawla by identifying errors in software interfaces and the defined procedures of the flight crew and ground control. After the completion of STS-87 post-flight activities, Chawla was assigned to technical positions in the astronaut office to work on the space station. In 2000, Chawla was selected for her second flight as part of the crew of STS-107. This mission was delayed many times due to scheduling timing issues and technical problems, such as the July 2002 discovery of cracks in the shuttle engine flow liners. On the 16th of January 2003, Chawla finally aboard the Space Shuttle and reached space, in Space Shuttle Columbia on the STS-107 mission, which finally encountered an ill fate. The crew performed nearly 80 experiments, studying Earth and space science, advanced technology development, and astronaut health and safety. Also, many experiments were conducted, which were developed by elementary school students from around the world, analyzing how insects and fish respond to spaceflight. Another suite of experiments studied the Sun. In particular, the flight carried a large pressurized chamber, called the Space Hub Research Module inside the shuttle's payload section. The experiments completed in the Space Hub module focused on biological and health sciences, but something bad happened at the beginning of the voyage itself, which affected the space shuttle while returning to Earth. During the launch of STS-107, Columbia's 28th mission, a piece of foam insulation broke off from the space shuttle's external tank and struck the port wing of the orbiter. This was the shield that protects the shuttle from heat during re-entry into the Earth's orbit. When Columbia re-entered the atmosphere of Earth on the 1st of February 2003, the damage allowed hot atmospheric gases to penetrate and destroy the internal wing structure, which caused the spacecraft to become unstable and break apart. The shuttle broke up over Texas and Louisiana, before falling into the ground. The unstable craft rolled and bucked, pitching the astronauts about. Within a short period of a minute, the ship depressurized, which killed all the crew on board. Apart from Kalpana Chawla, also on board were Rick Husband, Laurel Clark, Ellen Ramon, David Brown, William McCool, and Michael Anderson. After the disaster, space shuttle flight operations were suspended for more than 2 years, similar to the aftermath of the Challenger disaster. Construction of the International Space Station, which is ISS, was put on hold. The station relied entirely on the Russian Roscosmos State Corporation for resupply for 29 months, until shuttle flights resumed with STS-114, and 45 months for crew rotation. Although previous shuttle launches had also seen minor damage from foam shedding, but some engineers suspected that the damage to Columbia was more serious. NASA managers ignored the investigation, reasoning that the crew could not have fixed the problem if it had been confirmed. Chawla was posthumously, meaning after death, awarded the Congressional Space Medal of Honor, and several streets, universities, and institutions are named in her honor. Chawla's remains were identified along with those of the rest of the crew members, and were cremated and scattered at Zion National Park in Utah following her wishes. Chawla was selected in honor of her prominent place in history as the first woman of Indian descent to go to space, Northrop Grumman officials wrote in a statement. Some of the major honors and recognition awarded to Kalpana Chawla. There is one lunar crater. Chawla is named after Kalpana Chawla. The first satellite of the series, METSAT-1, launched by India on the 12th of September 2002, was renamed Kalpana 1. 74th Street in the Little India of Jackson Heights, Queens, New York City, New York, United States, has been renamed Kalpana Chawla Way in her honor. In honor of her, a street was named Kalpana Chawla Street in Rayon Nagar in Saramagai, a village in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India. The Kalpana Chawla Award was instituted by the government of Karnataka in 2004 to recognize young women scientists. NASA has dedicated a supercomputer to Chawla. The NASA Mars Exploration Rover mission has named 7 peaks in a chain of hills, named the Columbia Hills after each of the 7 astronauts lost in the Columbia shuttle disaster. One of them is Chawla Hill, named after Chawla. Novelist Peter David named a shuttlecraft, the Chawla, after the astronaut in his 2007 Star Trek novel, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Before Dishonor. That's the amazing story of astronaut Kalpana Chawla, the woman who reached the height of space to find the secrets of the cosmos and inspired young people in India and around Earth to consider careers in spaceflight. So, if you could ask Kalpana Chawla one question, what would it be? The secrets of the cosmos, or maybe even her favorite scientific experiment in space? Let us know in the comments below. And if you learned something from the video, then please like, share and subscribe for more such videos on the lives of great personalities of the world.